The first time we walk in anywhere, it can be so intimidating, especially when it comes to something physical or fitness related, right? Like all of our biggest insecurities and doubts seem to bubble up when it comes to exercise or thinking about public classes at a studio or a gym. So, how can we feel more confident that first day? We want to go and try yoga, but how can we do that and really curb those nerves? Let's figure that out today with some tips. If you are new to me, welcome. I am Yoga with TG, and I help busy career and family focused individuals just like you put themselves back into their own schedules. I'm here as your yogi to help you feel better than you have in years and grow stronger both physically and mentally. So, we want to do yoga, we want to go into that studio, but we're nervous for that first class. And I don't blame you. I was too. I had no idea what to expect from my first yoga class all those years ago, from what movement we would do, to who else was going to be in the class, to what I would be able to do physically compared to everybody else in class, and even to like what I should do when I arrive. How do I check in? How do I pay? How do I leave? Where are the bathrooms? Right? Like everything is unknown. We haven't done it before. Plus, as I said, with things that are fitness related, we tend to think back on our previous experiences, and we usually focus on the most negative one we've had before, right? And we just know that this will be the same way. And so to help us out, I'm going to give you a few tips, 5 tips today on how we can rewrite that narrative and get ourselves into that studio because we know we need to. So, number 1, remind yourself why you are going in the first place and set reasonable expectations. Okay, so we're going to try to ignore that commentary of saying this is going to be just like the worst first experience we've ever had. And instead, we're going to tell ourselves that this is not for the class to be perfect or for this experience to be perfect. I don't need to feel perfectly at home this first class. It is normal for me to be nervous and to feel out of place. And the number one thing that students who are new to my studio or trying out a new class at the studio, the number one thing they ask me when they come in is where it might be safe to put their mat. Right? They don't take someone else's spot. So you could do something similar, right? I always find it easiest to just kind of out my newness. So anytime I travel, I like to try out a yoga class and see what else is out there, see other studios, experience other instructors, which means I have to walk into studios all the time where I'm the new person. And I get nervous every darn time, right? So what I have come to do is when I arrive, I just own that I am new and that I am not sure what I'm doing. And I don't know what the procedures are or where I should go or what I should do. And I kind of just let them walk and talk me through it. I usually do, like I said, I ask someone already in the class if the spot next to them is usually taken by somebody, or I ask the instructor. Like I said, most students ask of me. And something small like that really does help as a new person because it takes one of those worries away, that you're not worried every time someone else walks in that you're in their spot, right? Even though There is no such thing, right? There's no reserved spots in classes, but we still feel that way, right? And no one, at least in my classes, is going to care that you're in a spot that they often take themselves. It's not really a thing, but I get it. I always ask too when I am in a new class. So feel free, just ask. Just alleviate those worries. When you walk in, just announce, right, that you are new. What help can you give me? What do I need to do? What props do I need? Or where do I put my things? And let them kind of walk you through those things instead of trying to figure it all out yourself. Okay, tip number 2, give yourself then, knowing we're going to do all of that, give yourself extra time. So it's new. We also don't want to add feeling rushed or late onto that equation. And instructors usually have a little bit more time before class to talk you through class logistics, make sure you're comfortable, you're in a good spot, you have any props that you're going to need for that class, to answer your questions and take their time, right? If you're a few minutes early. They're also usually more than happy to answer any questions you have about what the class might be like, the difficulty, to chat about any concerns you have or any potential injuries or limitations. And more communication is just always better. The more they know about you and your experience, the more they can tailor the class accordingly. For example, I always ask my classes what requests they have for the day. And new people who are coming into the studio, I do always try before class, if I'm able, if time allows, to check in with them about their practice, what they might want, need, because I want my class to meet their expectations and meet their needs. So planning to get there a few minutes early so that you can have those discussions and feel as comfortable as possible before class starts. Okay, number 3, put yourself in the shoes of those regulars, right? Many of our nerves that first time come from wondering if we're going to fit into the class. Can we keep up with the class? How are they going to feel if I'm there? Is it always the same group and now I'm kind of an outsider, whatever, right? So try to put yourself in their shoes. Maybe remember a time when you were a regular, what if it was in a fitness class or some other group or weekly activity, and think about what you felt like when someone new came. What were your thoughts as a regular? Were you scrutinizing them and evaluating them and wondering why they were there and why they put their stuff where they did? Why'd they sit there, right? Or did you hope they felt really comfortable and part of the group, right? Probably the latter. So try to keep that in mind and give the rest of the class the benefit of that doubt, that they're probably excited for you to be there. I know in my classes, maybe we're too excited sometimes, right, to welcome someone new to class and invite them into our community and hope that they become a regular with us. We always love having new people come, and we want to be welcoming to them. So have that as a hope, right? That they are wanting to welcome you in, not that they're wondering, who's this new person? Tip number 4, take an introduction course. So the more you can prepare for the foundations of the class or the practice, the more confident you're going to feel, right? The more we know, the more comfortable, confident, familiar we're going to be. So I know that when I started yoga, I noticed a huge difference in my comfort level of attending classes after I took a beginner's workshop. It was a 2-part series, and it broke down the poses kind of step by step, talking about alignment and how things should feel. And we had time to stop and ask the instructor questions and get feedback on our poses, how we could make them more comfortable, what adjustments we could make. And so we had kind of that time instead of, just popping into a public class here or there where the instructor can't always stop and explain a pose, right? We're in kind of that flow of class. This beginner's workshop, this series, really gave the time to answer all of those questions and give all of that foundation. And it was exactly what I needed to feel much more confident coming into class. And it really changed my practice. I felt more confident. I understood and had sort of a deeper understanding of yoga and of my practice. And it allowed me as well to deepen my practice more quickly. I could relax more into the flow of class. And I just learned so much in that time that was set aside for that specifically than I would have otherwise picked up here and there, maybe in a class or in a YouTube video or a tip or a cue that was given in a specific class. It was all of that content put together in one location, right? And so that was really, really beneficial. So if there are beginners workshops that you can take at your studio, I really recommend doing that. But because not all studios or teachers offer that kind of in-depth beginner workshop, and because even if they do, those schedules don't always work with yours, or the whole series doesn't work for you, or it's too much at any given time, I have created a comprehensive online beginner's course that allows you to go at your own pace, allows you to come and go in and out of the course anytime you have questions or need a reminder about a pose, and allows you to kind of deepen your practice and your knowledge while also building your confidence in your practice. It gives you all those foundations that you're wanting before you even step into that studio, right? Studio beginner courses that are held in the studio still require you to have that bravery, right? To walk through the door that first time, even if that first time is into a beginner's course. So the online course also gives you that advantage of knowing prior to attending your first class all of these foundations of yoga, from the breath to the poses to the flows. And the course does include several practices for you as well, so that you can repeat them as many times as you want to and really build your confidence and your familiarity with not just the poses and the components, but also of the way that classes are put together, how they're cued, and how they will be. So I'll include the link to this in the comments. If you want to check it out, you can. And it really will take you from zero to a budding yogi, right? Number 5, last tip for today, bring a friend, right? Everything's always easier and more fun with a friend. Whether that friend has attended before at that studio and can kind of show you the ropes, that's ideal. Or even if you're both new, you're not walking in by yourself. All eyes aren't just on you, right? You have a buffer and someone else to help ask questions, to navigate, to go with you. And plus, you can potentially become even accountability partners. If you like a specific class that's given each week at the studio, you could make it kind of a weekly commitment that you both are going to attend. Even better, bring a friend to the beginners workshop. Both of you can sign up, or both of you can enroll in the online beginners course and make a plan to kind of work through it together, working through each of the videos, each of the modules. So 5 tips to hopefully help you navigate those fears, those nervous feelings of entering a studio for the first time. And, in the end, remember, we were all new once. Everything that we do, there was the first time when we were brand new. We all started somewhere and at some point, and at least you're only new once. So don't let being new stop you. Just think about where you could be in a month or 3 months or 6 months or a year from now if you decide to be brave and walk into that studio for the first time. So I hope that this was useful. Let me know in the comments which tip you liked best, or if you have other suggestions and tips to share with our friends. What do you recommend as a way to get yourself into that studio the first time? I would love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing your comments. Have a great one.